What up? What up? What up, everybody? It's October the 28th, 2024. I almost said 2031. Van Eck, by the way, just announced. I love this guy, dude. He announced that there would be a $3 million Bitcoin price by 2050.
By 2050, 3
Yep,
million.
25 years, bro. You'll be 52 years old by that time. $3 million a pop. I got to tell you, I went to bed last night about 2:00 in the morning. I literally was so amped up as an American citizen. I thought that what I saw yesterday on the rally, and I didn't even watch the whole thing. I started watching about 4:00. I was proud to be an American. I was proud to be a Trump voter. I was proud to be a capitalist. I was proud to be a freaking entrepreneur. You know what? I actually have contributed more to this nation than I've taken, and I'm really, really, really proud of that. That's what the American dream was supposed to be. I saw some awesome business leaders up there, dude. You can say whatever you want about Trump. He is a monster catalyst. And all the shit that people said about him 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, I don't see any of that behavior today. And nobody gives the guy credit for, hey, he has improved vastly. And the people he's surrounding himself, unlike the last time, they're people I could work for, dude. Like I would take orders. Yes, sir. Let's roll, sir. So anyway, what'd you think, Sam?
I thought it was awesome. I watched almost the whole thing. To me, it was just super exciting. I mean, I love the team. I love just going from Tucker Carlson to Hulk Hogan to Vivek, right? To your brother, to Elon, even Melania's speech.
Boy, she's classy, dude. She's
so classy.
I mean, compare her to Kamala, Clinton, or AOC, or any of those crazy women.
It was, I saw some articles today, and they're absolutely right. It was like a second RNC, right? Like, which was right after his assassination attempt. It was just so much energy. And I have a lot of friends who went, and they were just like, it's incredible. I mean, talk about enthusiasm, morale, presence. Like, just the presence of Madison Square Garden and him being there, I thought was just fantastic. It was just so well done. And it's hard to argue. I mean, we are officially 7 days out from the election. Talk about just keeping up the momentum and keeping up the idea of who Trump is and showing the entire coalition he's got behind him. I mean, you have, Cantor Fitzgerald, right, founder, opening up and then bringing on Elon and calling Elon Musk the best capitalist he's ever seen, right? Just the team.
And Howard's a beast, by the way. Howard's an absolute monster, and he's calling Elon. It's rightly so, too. Rightly so.
Like, what a dream team. Like, I think that's the number one thing that people need to get in their head. By now, it's like, I don't buy anyone who's on the fence complaining about Trump, because when you look at his team, how can you argue against his team? Like, how can you not like a Tulsi Gabbard or a Vivek or a RFK Jr.? Like, if you have a problem with Trump, but you like those people, I legitimately do not understand how you couldn't say, okay, you know what? He's my guy.
Dude, at this point, I think and I have some friends that just cannot get off the fence. But I don't really get it. I don't, and they're all rich. And it's like, dude, you're not really trying to convince anybody when you close that blind that you're really going to vote against your future, the wealth of the future of your children. I mean, come on, dude. It's not going to happen. It's ridiculous.
At that point, I hate to say this, but at that point, it's just like, if you're on the fence, it's one of those things where I feel like you get it or you don't. Like, maybe you'll vote for Trump if you're on the fence just on the whim, but there's such a clear understanding now of the two different paths the country could go, because there's only one side. I mean, just take every issue RFK Jr. is talking about. They're not talking about any of that stuff on the Democratic side. They're not talking about health, big pharma. They're not talking about big ag. There's literally no voice at all. They're not even trying to compete with some of these people. It's just so, I personally don't get it. But it's very interesting. All the numbers that I'm seeing, like in Pennsylvania, turnout among Republicans is super high. You look at all these little different measurement metrics. Like you can see, okay, who's a new voter, who's voting, who's a registered Republican, who's voting, who's a registered Democrat and independent, who's voting, how many Republicans have switched party. Like it doesn't guarantee the outcome because you'll at the end of the day you can't see who they're checking off in the ballot box, but you can kind of get an idea and say, okay, compared to numbers in 2020, this is how things are looking. So that's why I was watching you tweet last night about being so bullish. I was like, that's absolutely correct. That is absolutely, like, I don't get how you couldn't be excited about the future of Bitcoin, the future of the economy. Like, it's just great positive energy. And to me, that makes me very motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved his, there were a few things in there that I really loved. Loved Elon being up there. Thought my brother did an excellent job, much better than he did last time. He just looked more comfortable. And even for him, you know, that was a dream for him to go to Madison Square Garden. Being a speaker his whole life, that is a dream, man. Even Howard was like, this wasn't on my play card to play in Madison Square Garden. You know, about 5 years ago, I had this image. I was like, all these movie stars and actors, they get all these accolades. People pay so much attention to them. Why wouldn't we turn business people into rock stars? This is 5 years ago, because I'm like, wow, it's so much more valuable. And I think we're going through this period where real rock stars, though, not these dumb shows that, hey, I'm going to buy your company, I'm going to invest $100,000 and what's the name of that show? Anyway, all these
Shark
shows.
Tank.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban show.
Yeah, the Cuban show. I was so bullish. I mean, drill, baby, drill. Okay, that is not coming out of Kamala Harris. That will win Pennsylvania. That will win Oklahoma. That will win Wyoming. Dude, anybody that's got energy, they're voting for Donald Trump. Fossil fuel, Donald J. Trump. Fossil fuel will prove to be the King Kong, man. And crude oil is down today, about $5. 8% crude oil went down today. Nat gas went down 8%. Crude oil went down 6%. Bitcoin's up 3%. The miners have absolutely exploded, which is what I predicted this weekend, with regulation being lightened in a Trump era, in a Howard Lutnick era, in an Elon era, where they're going to cut the fuck out of stupid regulations. The miners have absolutely exploded. Sorry for the violent language, but it's Monday morning and your kids should be in school. Check this dog out, dude. Bitcoin goes up to 69,000 today. It's retraced a bit. You can see this, I take it, huh?
No, you have to pull it up.
You can't see it. Silly me. I made plenty of these mistakes this weekend. I'm getting better. Let's see.
Twitter.
That's the wrong chart. How's that?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, beautiful. So there's Bitcoin punched up here this morning. It's on the open not the open, but up to 69, and has pulled back. But okay, so we'll just go through all of them. Tesla's up, of course. You can imagine Tesla being up today. Gold is up slightly down. Silver's flat. Ethereum's down. Oh, I just read this article on Ethereum, dude. Really negative. I mean, crazy negative, like $1,500, saying they're going to lose $1,000.
Like good or bad?
Bad.
Oh, negative.
Yeah. Well, it's $300 billion. It's priced for perfection. NVIDIA, down a little bit. And we're going to get into the miners right here, okay? Riot, I do not own Riot. It's up 5% today. Every miner's up 50 cents, bro. Every miner. Mara's up 98 cents in a day, 5.74. That's a big move, dude. $1 on a $18 stock's a big move. Solana's flattish, down 1%. Look at this. Wolf's up 11.99%, up 76 cents. You start owning 50 to 100,000 shares of this stuff, you have really nice P&L moves every day. Here we got Cypher up 3.48%. They're the laggard of the day. And here's King Kong, dude. Look at iron. Woo! Up 15.89%. What do people know that we don't know? Up $1.49 today. Imagine owning 50,000 shares of this. You've made $75,000 today in paper. Dogecoin's even performing very well. I thought Dogecoin would explode off of Lutnick and Elon's little play on Doge last night. Notice that Howard said Doge. Notice that? He's the one that said it, not Elon. I think Elon's like been told, hey, you're going to get sued, dude. One last one, CleanSpark, which I also own, up 6% today, up 68 cents. These babies are moving, dude. I mean, they're just moving. Here's Similar put Bitcoin on its balance sheet. I've been watching this company just to see what it would do. You can see it's moved from 27 to 29 in the last day or so. The last one I'm going to show, well, I'm going to show you three more, actually. I'm going to show you MicroStrategy up again. You could have bought this at less than $200 a week ago.
Yeah, we got a comment from Wade. Funny, since you're talking about MicroStrategy. He said, Gary, you tracking the MicroStrategy flywheel action. Punter Jeff has a great thesis. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't see that comment, but love to know more. I have been following. Let's see if I can. I thought this would be in here. Sorry if you guys are getting sick with me flying through these numbers. There's a leveraged MicroStrategy play. Which one is it?
A leveraged MicroStrategy play, as in like you can just track.
It's 3 times leverage on a call option and a put. It has. Okay. I looked at buying it last week, dude. It's up like $15 on a $30 stock. It's stupid. I can't find the symbol right now, but the market's it's robust. I think that's a good way to say it. I listened to the financial teams this morning on both Mario and Scott Melker's show. There's some really good data there, and I'm really surprised at how many people are still bearish. I mean, there were people suggesting that Kamala Harris could still win. I really don't see how that goes. This is called 3MST. I'm not pulling it up on this screen, but it's at $60. It's up $1.40 today. I started watching this when it was literally 1 week ago. It opened $29, dude. It's doubled. This is a MicroStrategy, triple leveraged call, long position on MicroStrategy. So if it goes up $1, you see a big move on this thing. That's in a fund that you can buy. A few last things. We have natural gas down 29 cents, 11.41% today, dude. Down. Okay, that is a monster nat gas move. And then you've got gold at 27.
Question on the natural gas, though. Would that go down because it thinks Trump would win and people are betting longer term that natural gas will be cheaper because he's pro-energy, or is that totally unrelated?
I don't know if it is related or not, but, drill, baby, drill means you're going to have a lot of production flopping all over the place. See, when you drill for crude oil, you find gas. Gas normally comes with it. When you're looking for gas, liquids and crude oil come with it also. So there's always these byproducts when you're drilling. So I suspect, and this would occur, drill, baby, drill means I'm going to look. Remember, my core belief is you can fuck with me on taxes. If you can mess with me a little bit on taxes, if you lighten up regulations, I'll take light regulations and a little heavier tax. I prefer both to have, less of both because that will fuel the economy. But I would prefer, and I think if you talk to any rich, productive people, and when I talk about wealthy, rich, I'm actually talking about not warts that are sitting on the planet consuming things. I'm actually talking about people that actually produce things. That's one, that gas going down is going to be great for America. Gasoline prices going down. Hey, there's deflation. Told you, man. All this inflation has been constructed by influencing or messing with supply chains. It has nothing to do. It's not just all money flows and producing of money, right? Nat gas hasn't done anything in 10 years. We produce 40% more money in the last 10 years. Nat gas has done nothing. Crude oil, nothing, right? So this myth that everything goes up because of dollars being printed, I don't think that's all there is to it. So yeah, this should be a deflationary market, and you should see hard assets become extremely valuable. I don't know how you come up with a negative situation, assuming Trump gets in.
Yeah.
Now, if that doesn't happen, remember what I said? I'd rather higher taxes and lower regulation. We will get massive regulation and higher taxes. And the success doesn't go together with both these things. You cannot have higher taxes and higher regulation. And by the way, who's getting hurt? Because I haven't seen any regulation in the last 15 years, 20 years that sent anybody to prison. Nobody goes to prison, dude. Bank blows up, nobody goes to prison. FTX blows up, you serve 8 years for committing one of the most egregious, heinous crimes against consumers, not against Visa or MasterCard, against Joe Consumer. You've got, I mean, just go through the list of players. Like, you don't really see that phenomenon anymore. So I just think that, I mean, I saw a meme today that Harris evidently is just going absolutely crazy. And she's basically said, hey, I'm fucked. I am totally fucked. And I put out a meme. I'm like, it was pretty clear to me. You've been getting fucked since you were like 21 years old. Dude. Like, you could have said that 4 years ago. Couldn't help myself on that one.
No, that was good. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. And it's true. And it's true. Chris Inc. said, like he said on Friday, now's not the time to sell your miners.
No, dude. No. That would be absolutely insane. Now let's see. I can't see. Oh, there you are. Yeah, you wouldn't want to sell anything here right now, I don't think. Okay. I mean, this is a bull market now. I don't think this market doesn't look like it's going to respond to Trump winning, but in 7 days, dude, this is game over. And what Elon was saying, hey, you have to go out and vote, man. Do not get comfy here. Okay. This spread needs to be so large that it becomes impossible to steal. Like my brother was up there. We need 100 million votes for Donald Trump. That'd be awesome. That would be historic. It would be awesome. And it pretty much ensures you can't steal this thing unless you go to nuclear war or cyber attack. So I think they're starting to run out of options. If I'm the Democrats right now, and by the way, remember, I'm not a Republican. I don't register as a Republican. I don't register as a Democrat. I don't do that. If my team's made a mistake, I ain't the guy in the sandbox going, oh, we're perfect. Okay, we made a mistake. Take your bumps and move on. If you don't take your bumps and move on, you're never going to fix the mistakes. And I can give you 37,000 examples of corporations that cheated 1 month, and then a year or 2 years later or 3 years later, similar problem comes up and they go back to that old cheat code. It's just what people do, especially people when they're under public purview and they're making $7 million a year as the CEO, and they're, want to keep it. So it's just all you have to do is look at who's motivated by what and why are they doing what they're doing. It's usually because they're motivated by the what. But I got to tell you, I'm proud to be an American today, man. And I can't say that I've been able to say that for a while. I don't know if you saw. I'm also proud that I lived in London for 15 years, 14 years, because yesterday, for the first time, I saw you Brits actually grow a fucking spine, dude. Thank God you guys got out of your houses and you went out and protested. Okay. Like I was really impressed with the volume of people protesting, the volume of British people protesting for their country back. And I think you're going to see this escalate. Dude. I mean, escalate on spades across the whole European sector. And it should. You guys should get out of your house and stand up. Your country has been stolen. History, past tense. It has been stolen. And until you grab it back, I will remind you that one of your great leaders said, power is never given, it is only taken. And so you Brits need to take like you took for 3,000 years or however many years you reigned the ocean and raped and pillaged. You guys need to grab, take a testosterone shot, grow a dick, and double up your fist, pound it on the table, and tell your fucking criminal politicians to quit destroying a great country. I mean, it is just, you're destroying the United Kingdom. It is embarrassing to watch from the side. Look, I'm going to be fine. Your loss is your loss, though. You'll never you're an island, dude. A tiny island with no resources. Once you lose your freedom, you're done. Like that's the only thing you have is imagination and freedom at this point. It's the only thing Brits produce. No electricity, no food, no water, really. Okay, you put a bunch of freaking wind turbines up that don't work well. They get blown over. They kill whales, and you think they're going to take the top of the food chain for energy, and they're not. It's absolute inverted, and it's insanity what you're doing. You won't let people frack. You don't want to do coal. You're literally pushing your people, all 72 million, into the dark ages, man. I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. You ought to just get the American flag now. Just convert to America, and we'll have an island. We'll tax the shit out of you guys until you can produce something. And that's the way it should work, man. Produce or get taxed. Like I produce. Don't tax me, man. I'm producing as long as I keep working every day and employing people. Quit taxing me, dude. I'm doing my part. I'm chewing up gasoline. I'm chewing up house taxes. I'm chewing up. Like you want people like me. Like I buy. You see shit showing up here every day, man. I buy stuff from the marketplace. Now, if you guys want all us old boomers that you complain about to contract our spending, to contract our investment into the future, most certainly I can just keep it all in Bitcoin. I can get richer and richer and richer and never do any of this, not work, hang out on islands like Jeff Bezos does, and be another rich cunt, okay, that does nothing. I personally think that you ought to stop over-regulating people like me, overtaxing people like me. If I commit a crime, send me to jail, dude. Send me to jail. Don't send me a fine and go, hey, you owe me $1,200. Okay. No, send me to jail, dude. Like make rules and deploy the order and rule of the day, and don't give anyone the ability just because they have a big wallet to write a $3 billion check and claim drug dealing, gun running, kid scamming, money laundering, gold fixing, LIBOR fixing, dude. Fix the entire planet's money on LIBOR. Okay. All of those crimes are real. They're not conspiracies. They're not Gary thinking XYZ bank might do something. These are exact examples of major league banks or vendors who've committed heinous crimes. The pharmaceutical companies are paying bills all over the place. They commit heinous crimes that you and I would serve time in prison for, and they get to write a $3 billion check. Stop it. That's not regulation. That's a taxing authority, man. Okay, that is bullshit. Now, while we're talking about taxes, we have to confront these 86,000 tax people that are getting ready to be hired. There isn't enough people in the United States for 86,000 people to audit. I mean, let's just do the math, okay? There's 150 million people that pay taxes in the United States. I mean, let's remember that out of the 350 million people that are humanoids, 25% of them are going to be under the age of what, 20? They don't pay taxes. 20% will be over the age of 70. They're old people, dude. They're not paying taxes either. Another 20 or 30% are going to be super poor. So let's say that there are 72 million people paying taxes. There's only 52 million people that have reported owning crypto, but let's say 72 million people are that's half, that's 1/3 of the, excuse me, that's about a 20% of the total population. Now they're going to be audited by 86,000 people. That is 0.83 people per auditor. Ridiculous, dude. Pay somebody $100,000 to audit 0.83 people. 86,000 people, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Now multiply, if you have a calculator, multiply 86,000 people times $100,000. Well, gosh, man, that's $8.6 billion, I think, right? A year.
Yep.
A year. That's close to $100 billion over 10 years. There must be a lot of crime going on in the old tax world to spend $100 billion over 10 years. That would suggest that there's $8 billion a year that are not being paid by the taxes. Maybe there is, okay, but you don't throw 86,000 people at it. That's ridiculous. In a world that's going automated.
And it assumes with that amount of people that it's coming from people like you and I, because you would think if it's coming from big corporations, you only need one or a few people to do that, which is where all the revenue would come from.
Okay, look, let's take 30,000 people out of the 86 and say they're going to do institutions. Because guys that do consumers don't do institutions. So do the math any way you want to do. 86,000 people. This is a Democrat, socialist, highly regulated, authoritarian, fascist government that needs 86,000 tax collectors. Okay, that's organized crime. It's ridiculous. I will put up my entire wealth and say I can do it for 1/3 of those people. I can do everything you want to do with 1/3 of those people. Okay, I'd love to do that job. I actually have technology that can do it. No, there's absolutely no sense to having 80. That's an army, dude. What do you need 86,000 people for? How many states are there in the country?
50.
50. Is there 50 or 52?
Well, 50 states, 52 if you count Puerto Rico and
let's do that because it's a tax haven, right? So that's 1,653 tax people per state. How many counties in Florida?
67.
That is 25 new IRS agents per county, sitting in fancy federal offices, chewing up air conditioning and heating and parking spaces and requiring gasoline to be used to get to the office, gasoline to be used to get back from the office because they won't do anything as a collective body, of course. That does not include long-term pensions that will be supplied to these people for the rest of their fucking lives after they work. I met a fireman the other day. He retired at 32 years old, dude. I'm like, whoa, how did you retire at 32? I did my years. Wow. You can do 10 years and get a full-on pension? Nope. Do you have that job offer for me? Because I didn't remember offering that in my package, dude. No company can afford to do that.
No,
You
correct.
come work for me and I'm going to give you a freaking pension at the in 7 years, dude. You get to walk away. Guess what he's doing now? He's investing in real estate and Bitcoin, and the US government's paying him. Like, I never told you this, but I never expected never since I was 18 that the US government would pay me anything like health, pensions, or otherwise. I will never, ever use any of the Social Security money. See, I think rich people could easily go, take it away, dude, whatever. Or let me give it to someone. See, this is what Trump should do. Hey, Gary, you grant your Social Security to someone. This is a great idea, dude. You grant your Social Security, stick it in a pool, or give it away as a gift. We won't charge you for the gift. We won't charge the recipient for the gift, and we'll give you a little hit somewhere. We'll give you, I don't know, man, knock off 1 or 2%. Like, I moved the funds, or hey, you can keep it. Like, y'all can keep mine, dude. You can just keep it. There's a lot of us don't need it. I don't need it. I'm not expecting, like, if you expect the U.S. government to take care of you, you're screwed the moment you got out of bed. The thought alone that someone needs to take care of you is crazy, right? You're literally waking up every morning. You're a victim. Okay. Like, and then you want to blame the government for not paying you. They don't know what they're doing. You're literally offering your life and the life of your children up to someone you can't even name their name. By the time, like, they're not really people. Like, they're not people like me. They're a group, dude, and they don't really care about you. They care about the 4 years they're going to do, and then they're worried about the next job, just like you're worried about it. The difference is you didn't take the obligation to act like a government person who was supposed to be taking care of the people. My job is not to take care of the people. Your job is to take care of the people. My job is to create enough wealth that I don't need you, and that I'm not sucking off the system and creating more problems. And that's what's happening in Europe, man. You have nobody producing anything. No one's producing anything. So you wonder why your GDP goes down. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. When you think it through, you're like, wow, this is all. I actually think, and I was left last night, as soon as I got back into social media this morning and watched the news, I became more pessimistic. But I went to bed last night going, hey, this actually, we could turn this around. This is fixable, and it's probably fixable in 2 or 3 years, or 2 or 3 years, you will know, oh, man, we have really whacked, we've really reset the stage. I do think it's possible. And then as soon as I plug into the negativity on this planet, wow, it becomes like, real grindy. It's almost like people don't want it to work.
Yeah, correct.
Which is sad. Okay, because I don't really care who gets credit. I mean, I literally heard this morning, hey, this guy's going to become richer than Elon because he's going to be president. I don't. First off, nobody's considering what if this guy was a grifter, gangster, hustler all his life, and all those terms I use as. I'm not saying he was an illegal or dude. The guy operated in New York City around organized crime. He most certainly got his hands dirty. Okay. And let's not pretend like any politicians you have ever voted for didn't get their hands dirty or make a mistake or whatever. I don't care what he did 30 years ago, quite frankly. I care that he survived it. And he didn't go to prison. His dad left him some money. Nobody ever talks about this. And he didn't turn into a crackhead, man. Like, really, show me 10 people who were left with over $1 million that were able to actually multiply the money and not destroy it. 10 people did. Not one of you people can come up with 10 people who inherited money that did anything with it other than stick it right up their brain or in their dick or whatever they did with it, but they blew it. And they may have redone it, but you can't find 10 guys that actually turned money, inherited money into more money, much less ran for the president of the United States. One, fucking ripped everybody a new one. He's going to rip everyone's face off in 7 days, bro. If we have an election, it's going to be 70 votes to 30. Is that crazy? Do you think that's possible that you could have a 72% kind of boom? I think California could go, bro. Really?
I think the most interesting thing is that polling is always had Donald Trump multiple points under, and he always outperforms the polling. And I don't think their polling methods have changed because all his polling's now even, which means the gap, in my opinion, must be so high. There's just, but yeah, to your point, yes. If there's an election and it's fair, it's a total blowout. It's a total blowout.
Total blowout. It's going to shock the world, dude. It's going to terrify. It's going to terrify legacy. Terrify them. And I think they know. See, I think Zuckerberg knew when he came out. When he came out and said, "Hey, the FBI and the CIA made me manage the voting data last year," or whatever he admitted to. He either admitted to most certainly not being balanced in his view of politics, and he gave $400 million to somebody, some group, but also that he distorted the reality of COVID. And like he did say that, right? Like, we can go find this. He admitted to felony criminal actions, okay? And allowing the U.S. government through a number of different divisions. I cannot remember one division that was left uninvited to the table, including the IRS. Now, why would the IRS need to be sitting inside of Facebook looking at social media posts? Can you explain that to me? I can see how the terror division and the emotional quotients division might be there, but I don't know why the IRS would be sitting inside of Facebook talking about elections and COVID-19. Now, if that really happened, I'm pretty sure Google participated. I'm pretty sure every other social media network participated, which, by the way, I'm terrified, dude, if I'm them. I am terrified if I am a public CEO and I committed felony crimes and didn't tell my shareholders that I had insiders inside the bloody business of multi-billion-dollar utilities. Basically, I think they're utilities. Look, when the government can come in and start framing what you're saying, you most certainly are a utility. Okay? That's a utility. It's not a public company anymore. They've been doing this with Visa, with you know where these embargoes come from? The embargoes and the sanctions come from a number of places. Either they're kinetic and they come from NATO or one of our allies. Example is the Nord Stream pipeline explosion. Who blew them up? If you can't identify who blew them up, I'm pretty sure it's got a red, white, and blue flag on it, or maybe a blue flag called NATO. So there's one kind of intervention. And that creates all type of supply shocks, like when they do that kind of stuff. And I think that's the type of inflation we've been living under for the last 2 or 3 years. The other one is just inventing rules and picking winners and losers, which is what they've been doing, man. And to me, if I'm the CEO of Google and it's going to be clear that I actually engaged in a presidential election that was stolen 4 years ago. You know what's hilarious? We live long enough and we're still going to win this mofo, dude. I mean, it's amazing. It might actually turn out well because they had 4 years to fix everything and they did nothing. They made it worse, right? I don't know how you can be negative on Trump and the whole administration he has today. I really can't, dude. I cannot understand why people are being so bearish. And they think that he's going to be a complete asshole. He's going to destroy the market, and he's the only one that's going to get rich. I really heard that this morning. And I'm like, wow. Look, I'd rather Donald Trump become a trillionaire than Kamala Harris make $10 million.
Yeah, whoever made that he's going to get rich comment has not been paying attention the past 8 years. I mean, honestly, he's one of the few people who's gotten poorer, quote unquote, after running for presidency. And the amount of lawsuits and stuff that he's gone through, to even have the mindset to think that this is about money is just so far out of field. Like, that's just a different reality. And that, I hate to say it, but some of these people do. They live in a completely different reality. And maybe we all do, right? But seriously, like, to even have that mindset, I don't know what you're reading. I don't know what you're paying attention to. But none of the data shows that. There's a lack of understanding, I think, of the psychology behind some of these people's motivations. That to me doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or form.
Look, if I'm 76 and I've done all this and I made some mistakes, and this is where I was trying to go to earlier, it only takes one decision for me to decide I'm going to clean my act up. And I care more about my lineage than I do about how many dollars. And at 76, I can just tell you all, if you're not my age, I tried to explain this to my ex-wife, who was 20 years younger than me, and she never got it. But when I had a very different frame of reference at 45 than I do at 65. For instance, my time, although it has not become any more or less valuable, my awareness of my time has become more valuable to me. I am much more interested in my thoughts and thinking about the world than I am about doing. I'm most certainly more interested in thinking about things that are esoteric and don't have shape and structure to them than I am going to a fucking stupid meeting on HR. And so, I cannot believe that Donald Trump's not looking at himself in the mirror every night after 16-hour days going, hey, am I going to get really, really rich out of this? Come on, man. I'm reading books right now about people 6,000 years ago that were kings, and nobody cares who he's poking. Nobody cares who he was poking or touching, dude. What they care about is, hey, what did this King Eka stand for? What did he do? Did his civilization actually better or worsen? And like it or not, I live in America, dude. I want my coach to be the best coach. I don't need him to be the coolest coach, the most well-spoken coach, the most predictable coach, the most woke coach. I need him to be the best damn coach, man, that gets scores and points on the ground and a team that's redundant, resilient, and we can keep winning world freaking series. Is it any more complicated than that? Okay, you got to hit singles, doubles, triples, and every now and then you get a home run. But we need winning teams, man. Winning teams come from winning coaches and a winning attitude. And I saw winning attitude and winning coaches all over the place last night in Madison Square Garden. So it makes me bullish, gets me excited. Okay, this is the kid. This is the 8-year-old American kid. This is what I want to do. I bet everybody else shares that with me. You put your little baseball cap on. You got your little leather glove. And you went out with your little, 18-inch bat, and you're like, I'm going to be a World Series player, dude. I'm going to be Babe Ruth. And then you meet the real world, and you realize, wow, you can't even you can't even be better than other players in baseball anymore. Everyone has to be the same. That is bullshit, okay? I love people being better than me. I remember going to school with Bobby Broussard. He was a natural athlete, Lake Charles, Louisiana. He was smart, The guy could play baseball, football, basketball. I've never seen anything like it in my life, man. And I was jealous of him. I was envious of him. He got all the attention. He set a standard, though. I'm like, shit, I'm never going to be able to play baseball or basketball like that. I got to figure something out. Guess what Bobby never did? Bobby never learned another skill. And when Bobby was 30, basketball was no longer his game. And he probably crawled into a bottle, right? Which is really sad. So I see a guy that, like, if I went into the Kamala Harris crew, no one would be asking me, hey, Gary, what division would you like to help with? I come into this crew and they're like, man, can we put you to work, dude? Can you help us? Like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't even care. Just point me in the right direction. But nobody, I don't see Scaramucci calling me. I don't see a lot of people that are Bitcoiners that are like fervent Harris voters. I still don't understand what you guys are doing. I mean, this is going to look really bad on you. I don't even know this is a criminal group of people, man. I mean, let's pretend like it wasn't their team that tried to assassinate this guy 3 times. Who the hell was it? I'm sure it was not Elon. Now, I'm pretty sure that Elon didn't have a MAGA Gothic black hat on last night and with his little gun, he's trying to shoot Trump. Somebody tried to kill Trump at least 3 times, at least 2, and maybe 3 times, and maybe more. Do you really think it was our own team? Okay. I mean, I've actually heard this. Okay. We're trying to kill the guy. Anyway, did you watch the Rogan Trump thing? Because I did not watch it. Didn't have the 3 hours to do, but did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
And
So
what
I'm
did you
about
get
2
out of it?
hours in. I'm about 2 hours in. I've seen a lot of the clips, so it's just funny because now I'm watching it, even though I've seen a lot of the clips. And it's excellent. I mean, back to your point, by the way, some people were asking, is Rogan really going to help him win the election? 1, I think so. But then 2, I told them, I was like, this isn't just about the election now. This is about if Trump does lose, how is he going to be painted in the history books? And where's going to be the evidence for what type of person he is? Which is exactly what you're talking about when it comes to legacy. And I think a lot of what he's doing now is proving or giving avenues for people to see him authentically, because we know even if Trump wins, who's going to be writing the history books and how are they going to portray this time, right? And I think he's thinking that far ahead. So I think there's 2 aspects to it, but the Rogan interview is very well done. He's very honest. Rogan will ask him a question, he'll kind of answer, drift off. Rogan will bring him back, then he'll answer and drift off as he does. But it's all very, very organic. I mean, it's very cool. It's a completely different energy than what you see at the rallies, right? It's very personable. So I've really enjoyed it.
It always surprises me how many people critique him for going off. He'll answer the question and then he'll go off on I don't really do that because I do enough of these that I'm like, hey, dude, I go off on all kind of tangents if you don't rail me in. It's really hard to do this, right? You start thinking and he's just communicating. I would rather a guy like the guy's talking, dude. Most people who are criminals and they're liars, the more they talk, the hole gets deeper and deeper and deeper. He never really digs himself a problematic hole. He might tell a dumb joke or something and it gets, but like for a guy to be able to hold a conversation that long, the guy didn't even ask for a glass of water, dude. 2.5 hours. I couldn't do that.
If you watch the first 30 minutes, you'll see it straight away. But for example, like Rogan asks him a question saying, what was it like your first day in office? And Rogan's expecting Trump to kind of say, and I think Rogan's point was, you're in office. What do you do? Are people coming at you? Hey, Commander in Chief, what do we do? What do we do? But he says, the first thing was how surreal it felt being in the Lincoln bedroom, and imagining what it was like being Abraham Lincoln, who lost a son, who was scared of Robert E. Lee, and he goes on a tangent about Robert E. Lee, right? So he's giving you insight into Trump's mind and what he felt. And Rogan has to bring him back and say, well, here's kind of what my real question is. But it just shows you, Trump's thinking, which you would never get this, right? But Trump's thinking from a historical context. He's also saying he said it was more surreal being in Lincoln's bedroom than when he was shot. Like he said, when he was shot, he knew exactly where he was. He was on the ground. He knew where he was shot. But when he stepped in the bedroom, he was like, wow, is this real? Like,
That's
am
what
I
I think,
really
dude.
here?
That's what I think. I mean, I just had chills go up my spine. I think the guy's having an experience, and I don't think you can do that. I mean, I had a revelation just recently. I'm like, man, if I do this, it's going to make a real difference on the planet. And maybe I'll share with you later what I'm thinking, but and that's just a little microcosm of what he must be going through. I mean, he is realizing, dude, like, this is a 1776 moment, bro. This will be written about forever. Okay. This is literally shocking the entire planet. This isn't just about America either. This is unraveling Europe right now. You are seeing people grow balls of steel. This chick in Italy, I ain't letting all these imports come in here anymore, dude. Legal or illegal, we can't handle it. Period. It's the truth, man. It's the absolute truth. And we got to raise taxes. If you're the Italian prime minister, yes, that's the truth. You guys are broke, man. You joined the European Union. I mean, you have no way to do anything. You couldn't get out of this paper bag if you wanted to. So I see this happening, man. I see people in Holland, starting in France, England, 250,000 people plus rioting in the streets yesterday. So I think this is a big, 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 big deal, man. If this goes south, we will most certainly have civil war. Most certainly, man. And I still maintain. See, now I'm starting to think maybe they can't kill the guy. I've actually, if I'm really honest, I'm not sure that I'm going to go say, hey, let's assassinate. You remember I've been saying, hey, the guys, they will do anything. They will. I think maybe the assassination's off the table now, and that they have to go heavier, a bigger thing that doesn't really have. It's not a direct attack on him. I think there would be massive pushback if this guy's assassinated.
Well, and to our earlier point about his team, look at who would take the mantle. Tulsi, RFK, Vance, Vivek. Like, if they get rid of him, there's a whole lineup of people now
you'll
who are
martyr
just
the guy.
dangerous.
You'll martyr the guy, okay? And martyring, let's go check on JC, okay? I mean, JC's got more books written about him on the whole martyr deal than, I mean, you want to really create a problem. The old martyrdom thing is a deal. And he most certainly would be a martyr. So I don't know what they do, actually. They got to be in panic, Bill. I mean, they got to be in serious panic, Bill, bro.
I was watching our friend Mike Benz, and I think he's absolutely correct. I think if Trump wins, the days after the election and before January when he's sworn in are going to be extremely chaotic. There's going to be tons of lawsuits. There's going to be rioting in the street, calls about what was legitimate and what wasn't. It's going to be a crazy period because you have roughly 2 months, 60 days to just explode everything. And that's a transition period. Biden and Kamala Harris are still in power. Trump could win. They still have that transition period. What happens? Right. And what does that look like?
I mean, if Biden died this afternoon, she would be ushered into office, right? Um, could she declare like martial law? I guess she could declare they could drop a nuke somewhere at the same time. I mean, they could. I just think it's so heinous now. It's so extreme. I mean, they're going to lose Senate, lose Congress, man, and probably going to have a good shot at the House, right? Is that correct? Or
The House is looking very good. Traditionally, it was looking like Republicans will win the Senate and lose the House. But with the enthusiasm we're seeing, I mean, like, and I've said this before, like there are swing congressional seats in New York, in California, where he's hosting these rallies. Right? It's not just about the popular vote in the presidency. Like all those people we saw in Madison Square Garden, they could be in a district in New York that's got a Republican congressman up for reelection. Right? So it's not just about the turnout for Trump. So if he secures both the House and the Senate, I mean, that's going to be a sweeping mandate.
which means what? We can get a lot of stuff done.
Yes. And he can do it with the idea that, hey, you guys told me, like, you so much approve of me, there's no restriction, and just ram everything through in 2 years. Which even if we just have the presidency and Senate, that allows Trump to entirely change the judicial system as well.
Whoa.
So most likely 2 Supreme Court justices, I think, would step down. The Republican older ones, Alito and Thomas, and he'd
They would
appoint
step
2 new
down.
ones.
They would step down voluntarily.
I think so, yeah.
Why? Why would they do that?
Because now would be their moment, and they wouldn't want to risk not having the moment where their seat's filled by someone who's not of the same jurisprudence as they are. They're getting old, right? That was the problem with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They wanted her to drop out because they were scared a Republican would appoint her successor, and that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Right. So
what
buddy
else is
Jimmy,
Well,
our
what
buddy
else
Jimmy
is-
in the comments said something funny. He said, Gary always says to do something nice every day. So I am collecting moving boxes, and all boxes will be shipped to DC so Kamala can pack her stuff.
That's
That's
a good
his
one,
nice
dude.
deed.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. That is very funny. Yeah, I do that. I like my little thing. I like all the comments too. I love going through the comments. I want to thank 515 Adventures for being here. Kim Run Hang, Paul Bajizia, I see you out there, man. Nucleos, good to be here. Wade, thank you for being here. Wade says MicroStrategy has some crazy options action occurring. MicroStrategy is trading up 6.72% today with Bitcoin flat. He just that MicroStrategy trade. Those MicroStrategy triple long, they're up. This is so stupid. I could have bought those at 32. They're at $62 today. I could have bought them 10 days ago, dude. 10 days ago, I could have bought MicroStrategy. It's called 3MST for literally $32. It's trading at 62. It's up 6% today. In 3 days alone, it's up $20. 62. I mean, it's a beast. Now, it's extremely violent. I think that's what you're talking about, right, Wade? Good to have you here, buddy. Hire Colin, good to have you here. Chip, man, KC. Who else we got? There's Wade. Thorough Crypto. Sam, we need to write this down. This is why I started publishing so much. 10-year odds of the future. Read about real history in disguise. That's funny. Oh, Mitch McConnell's finally stepping down.
Yeah, he announced a while ago, maybe about 8 months, that after this election, he's going to give up being head of the Senate.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the guy looks like he's, when I get that old, tell me, hey, Gary, go play some poker. Have a seat, son. Have a seat. Let me do heavy lifting for you. You're not You're not
I
looking
think
so
you're
good.
very far away. I think you're very far away from being Mitch McConnell's level.
I sure hope so. Let's see. Jimmy said, just need Gary to validate my nice gesture. Jimmy, you're the man, dude. You're the man. The problem is I have to disqualify you because see, you bragged about it, man. Oops. So you got to go out and do a new one, dude. Got to go do a new one. Windstone Boogle, just a question. I like Trump, but oh, dude, like, what if I go crazy tomorrow morning, man? I mean, I can do the butts forever and ever. I have to have some faith. He has a lot of cool people surrounding him, man. Gary always says to do something. Oh, okay, this is that joke. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Surely Fortress, good to have you here. Chip Man, you're back in the room. Febo Swami's here. Next Graphics, thank you. Chris Inks, thank you for being here. Jimmy, again, you guys are awesome, man. Really, really, really awesome. Sam, did you go to Cardone Church Sunday?
Cardone Church? Oh, like no, I
Sam
saw you were
doesn't
doing a
know.
live video.
Sam doesn't know what I did. I started a church thing that I'm going to do for the next 3 months. Every Sunday at 10 a.m. I think it's 10 or 11 a.m. Eastern. And it's going to be Church by Cardone. I've come out of the closet. I loved it too, dude. Like I hope you go back and watch the recording. I hope I recorded it. But it has really, doing this has really helped me a lot, just personally. But I've been thinking that I've complained my whole life about school, and I never really said this before, but I really complain about church also. And I think both groups, I think they abused their position. They either abused it by doing something that wasn't right, or they did it abusively by doing something they should have done that they didn't do. And it's just human beings, right? Human beings go crazy. Human beings change. I'm not saying the whole thing is messed up, but I haven't gotten what I wanted from school or church. And I've been doing this so much, Mr. Critical, Mr. Oh, I could do it better. I'm like, well, then why don't you go do something about it, son? And so the Sunday deal was me going like, what am I waiting for? Let me light up a church. Okay, what is a church? It is a group of people coming together with a common interest, man. That's all it is, okay? But I'm going to I've already started doing some research. I spent an hour yesterday doing research on all the religions. How many religions, for instance, have you ever asked yourself how many religions as a populace of the whole planet, okay, over the beginning of time, how many evolutions has man made spiritually from organized religion versus spiritual whatever, guessing at it? Okay, you have religion over here that we just assume is true and real, and then you have what I call the occult, for lack of a better word, magic, the occult, spirituality, meditation, dropping acid. I don't really care, but anything non-organized religion, and I'm sitting here going, I got to believe that over the billions of people that have been on this planet, that have lived in caves, in communities, not touching the Roman Catholic Church or the Jews or the Israeli, whoever, right? Like, come on, man. There's been so many people in tribes, they didn't have proper religions, right? I got to believe mankind has been steered more by the occult or nothing than organized religion over the history of time, right? And let's also gather up, if there's more than one religion, that means no one got it right. Or if one's right, they're all wrong. I actually just think all of them are probably not right. Notice I didn't say they were wrong. I just said they're not all right. And therefore I was like, Shit, dude, I bet you there's about 100 people on a Sunday morning that are like Gary that stop going to church. They don't want to see their counselor anymore because it just doesn't work for me, or I can actually use this. And they want to go somewhere and they want to commune with other people that share a common view. I don't know how many people showed up, buddy. It was thousands. It was thousands of people. And I'm like, whoa, I have church to go to now. And I encourage everybody to open up their church, man. And if you believe in something, this is why I think free speech is so cool. If you guys don't like that I throw an F-bomb around every now and then at church, don't come, man. Go somewhere else. It's really okay with me. Like, I would love for you to come, but since you're criticizing over my F-bomb, you can, like me, start your own church, hit the Twitter feed, call Sam. He'll show you how to get a StreamYard thing, and you can have church, and maybe I'll go to it one day. I mean, how cool would this be, dude? Everybody's got its own church. What would all organized religions have to do? They'd have to up their game. This game theory, dude, this game theory right now, this is so big. It's unbelievable. Supply and demand of game theory. I was born for this shit. Like, I'm going to eat from this barbecue plate so long. I'm going to become so cool. But this is going to help the next 20 years of my life keep me so actively engaged. Not, by the way, what Mark Cuban's doing, which is engagement farming. He's trying to remain relevant. And it's sad because, like, hey, Mark, start a church, dude. Like, he could help a lot of people, right? Start a school. Quit being such a whining little bitch, dude, and do something. You're not going to be invited to our team to help because you ain't helping, man. You're not helping anybody. All you're doing is complaining. It's almost like you become somebody's robot. By the way, I will make this commitment. If I do, I will do this, and I'll be just as honest as I am today. But also, if the Trump administration were to ask me to help them, I will not become a prostitute, dude. If I don't like what they're doing, I will continue to. I will say, hey, this is wrong, dude. This is wrong. And Trump, you can fire me if you want, but you're not bringing me on if you want a yes man. I'm not a yes man, and I'll never be a yes man. And I think that's the problem with some of these guys that have a boner for Trump is they were willing to be a yes man, and then being a little whore wasn't even enough. And that's why they're not in the office anymore. And they got run out, man, because they couldn't play well with other people. So get over it. Anyway, I'm excited about the church deal, dude. I think it's going to be
every Sunday, 10 a.m.
Every Sunday, 10. Yeah, probably 10 a.m. I think 10 a.m. is actually a good time. And we'll run for a typical, hour to an hour and 15, typical kind of church thing. And really bring the family, okay? Bring the family. You guys can help me. I'll stop doing the bombs if F-bombs if the kids are here. But it's designed to be an uplifting, let's help. We don't have to have a bunch of rhetoric and poems and phrases. I don't need to say, well, Ecclesiastics 11:2 said this. That's never worked for me. Okay. But it's also never worked for me that, well, the Satoshi white paper said this. Yeah, that's the way you read it, dude. And it's not really saying that. It did not say that we would have peer-to-peer communions occurring on a 10-minute basis around the entire planet with 8 billion people. Peer-to-peer retail. It didn't say that. Okay. You guys read that into it. And this is my problem with Bibles and historical records. People really have shown me they have a way of changing, even if it's not in writing, they will change the definition of the words to adapt it to their framework. And,
100%.
bro, all the time, every time. And I've never seen a time when human beings don't do that. So don't try to convince me that your Israeli book of 8 million trillion years ago is real, or the Catholic one, or the Bible. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ did not write the Bible, nor did God. Human beings, to my knowledge, wrote it. There is a printing press and a production company that was involved in it. I have just seen 4 years of some of the most egregious rewriting of history in our I can't even believe how heinous it's been. And you're trying to tell me when I was 6 years old, they assassinated John F. Kennedy, and we still can't figure out who did it? That the Bible is perfect and clean? Come on, guys. I am so sorry. I grew up Roman Catholic. I've been to Vatican. I'm pretty sure they've told a couple of fibs. Otherwise, they would not have massive amounts of historical data they won't let anyone see. Okay, I have a very basic rule. If you put something in a little box behind a vault and you say nobody can see it, there must be something in there that you're hiding from view. Okay, occlusion equals crime. Every time. Every time, dude. There is something, some little wigger in the woodpile that somebody doesn't want to show, always, everywhere. And I think, and maybe we can end here, we are moving into the era of enlightenment, not enlightenment, but enlightenment, which means that we're moving into an era of transparency. Technologically, the first time in our history, could we actually live in a transparent universe? We've never had the technology to allow us to do that. If you remove all the transparency from this planet, we will have no problems. Every problem we have is because we think something is a certain way. And I think we are all massively confused. Every time I get into an argument with someone, it is because he, she, or I have determined to focus on being right. And like, there's just absolutely no data that anyone can show me. Explain to me what gravity is. Explain to me what the Big Bang, these are rhetorical questions, right? Explain to me what the Big Bang is. And our entire civilization and basic viewpoint on life is built on this theory of the Big Bang. We know for sure, 100 scientists will tell you right now, our view of the Big Bang is incorrect. We cannot fundamentally explain what gravity is. And I'm pretty sure if you cannot explain to me how the fuck this planet got here, what the moon is, or what gravity is, there's a whole lot of other stuff we don't know anything about. And literally, okay, people are going to be sitting in here. There's 2,000 people in here. Not one of you can tell me what gravity is. And you've literally been living around like we know everything. You could not define gravity to me. You can't define black matter or show it to me. By the way, you guys say gravity exists. Prove it. Show me gravity. Can't show me gravity. You have no formula for it. Dude, if this is true, we will have to unwind our entire thought process and relearn, which would be awesome, dude. Can you imagine all the aliens showing up or something? We need a moment where we all sit down and go, are we sure we are living the future based on truth? Now, I got to tell you, buying stocks and getting rich, actually, it's very easy, man. When you start talking about this other stuff, whoa, it gets intense. Making money and being successful and living in a nice house, driving a nice car. I mean, I was with my daughter yesterday, I took her shopping. I love shopping with my girls. I am a monster shopper, and especially for girls. And I bought her a bunch of shit, and I don't know, man. It was probably $800 worth of gear. I bought $1,500 jacket. Awesome looking. She picked some shit out for me. I'm like, I'll take that. And she's like, wow, man. I said, isn't it wonderful? I can afford anything I want. She said, you didn't even look at the labels. I said, yeah, I don't have to. She was like, whoa, dude. I said, dude, that's power, man. to be able to walk. Now, not wastefully. Okay. She only bought a few things. I mean, she spent more money than most kids spend. But we don't do this very often. Quite frankly, my kids don't have any nice clothes. It's a little embarrassing. But to be able to tell your kid and hopefully not spoil her, hey, look, it's a decision whether you can afford anything or not. When she saw the bill, we then went to a restaurant and we paid $50 for 2 appetizers and 2 sweet teas. She looked at it and went, whoa, that's $60, man. I said, well, it's $12 tip, $62, right? I said, Allie, she's 15 years old. I said, Allie, how does somebody at McDonald's, working at McDonald's, making $15 an hour afford a $50 meal? See, this is where kids start to learn right here when you start doing this stuff to them. Now, some people will say, well, Gary, you're being a little too generous to kids. My wife, ex-wife, will most certainly say, hey, I buy them almost anything they want. The day will come when I don't. And that's when that's a year away, man. Hey, that's your deal, dude. You want to buy that nice sweater? I told you to look at the price tag. She's probably wearing a $150 sweater right now. She will not be able to afford that when she's 18. And that's good. Give her a little taste of the good life and then take it away from her. And anyway, I'm really, 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 really excited about the church thing, which is weird that I'm even saying that it's not weird to me. I think it's weird for most other people that they're going to go, huh? This guy's more excited about doing that than Bitcoin? Most certainly. Because this will last longer, right? I told you the story. I tell the story about going to confession with the Catholic Church, right? And the masturbation. And like, I don't even care anymore because I think other people have had these thoughts. Imagine I am still holding on to that thought, dude. Now, if I'm still holding on to that thought from being 7 years old, imagine if I would have walked in that confessional and the guy would have said, hey, you're an awesome human being, bro. You are unbelievable. Now, you need to take that energy and contain that energy and let that energy drive you. That's all he had to do, man. That's all he had to do. All he had to do was use the analogy that baseball and football coaches say to their champions when they're going, hey, no girlfriends for the season. What's no girlfriends for the season mean? No jacking off, no sex. That's what it means, man. Okay, they just don't say it like that. It's like, hey, keep the energy contained in the body. You see what I'm saying? There's 2 ways of handling this. I'm doing this in front of 3,000 people. I'm not embarrassed. I don't see you flushing. I'm going, oh my God, did he talk about masturbation? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Gosh, censor me. Amazing what one man can learn about himself just plugging into the world, dude. And that's what all this social media stuff has done for me on a very real level. It's really like it's actually shocked me. This would not be the first time I'd be shocked, though, because I've just been running into this area going, okay, there's something here. I just don't know what it is. And it's shocking me how much I'm learning from. By the way, give Bitcoin 1,000% credit for getting me here, because if it wouldn't have been for Bitcoin, I wouldn't be doing it. Anyway, it's Monday. I'm excited. It's 1:15. We're probably getting long in the tooth here. People are telling us what gravity is. Probably everybody's right and everybody's wrong a little bit. I haven't had a chance to read them. How would you like to close the day, Sam, knowing that we're going to be back on Spaces at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, guys, we're going to be talking about the markets at 5, maybe a little politics, but going over markets with Chris Inks. Appreciate you all being here. Seriously, appreciate how engaged you guys are. I love when the comments, you can tell when everyone's kind of perked up and listening. So we really appreciate you guys being here every Monday, whether it's at noon or whether it's at 5 at our Spaces. So we'll see you later this evening. Don't forget, we'll be posting that Spaces. Share the link, like, comment, get it out to more people, and go out and do something nice for somebody. Right, Gary?
Yeah. See what Sam just said? He's getting it. He got it. and he reminded me this was an important piece of it. He picked it up the first time, so kudos to him. You guys go out, do something nice for someone today. Doesn't have to be so easy, doesn't have to be massively hard. Help somebody, do something kind, but you can't report it, okay? It has to be anonymous. It's a little hack. Love you guys. We're 5:00 p.m. Eastern time. We're live. We'll be talking all things markets and how to get rich. You guys just keep coming back, and keep helping people. All right. Love you lots. Be good. Be strong. Do not be wrong. All right, Sam. That was awesome. Thank you.